a screwdriver walks into a bar, and the bartender is like, "Oh, hey, hi, we actually have a drink named after you." And the screwdriver says, "Really? You have a drink named Philip?"
Well done.
That was amazing.
Okay, shut up.
Welcome to the Calvin Dean Show. Wow. Do we have a show for you? I have been out. I was sick. I had a virus and bronchitis, and I couldn't talk. But man, I am loving life large. I am here, guys. We have so much to talk about. I mean, a lot. I mean, we have the Aaron Rodgers trade to the Jets. They're still talking about it. They are steadfast. And the Packers today announced that they're not looking for a number one pick with Aaron Rodgers, and they just want to get rid of him. He's a handful. I did a segment on Aaron, and it was just a special segment of him coming out of his dark retreat.
Came out of the darkness, something changed. I'm not exactly sure what that was, but something changed. And I got back to my phone after 5 days off of it, because your phone's not on the entire time. There's no Wi-Fi on that, hippie mountain.
Up in Malibu, and, he's coming back, and he just didn't get why the Packers were moving on. He's so aloof. Ah, man. New York Jets, my brother, Brian Watson, and my brother, Willie up in Canada, Billy. The Jets look really good this year, man. They took on Alan Lazard. There's talk that they're going to have Randall Cobb. I mean, they have such a great team. That defense is stout of the Jets, and that offense is just going to look amazing, guys, amazing. I'm excited. I'm excited about this. And then also, Jimmy G signs with the Raiders. Like I predicted that one. But the thing of it is that weird. They had a interview with Josh McDaniels yesterday, which is the Raiders coach, right? And they are the number 7 pick of the NFL draft this year, right? And Josh is like, well, we're just going to pick the best player. It could be a quarterback. It could be a running back. I mean, it could be a wide receiver. It could be a corner. It could be a defensive lineman. And he's like, come on. You have to be kidding me. Really? I mean, you're doing Jimmy G the wrong way. I mean, here you sign a franchise quarterback, right? Takes a huge pay cut, right? 3 years, 60 some odd $1 million. Really, for Jimmy G? He is a 75% win. I mean, the guy has brought his team to the Super Bowl, brought his team to the championship games. I just don't get these teams, guys. I don't get these teams, how they treat these players. The Baltimore Ravens. I'm sporting the Baltimore Ravens colors today for Mr. Lamar Jackson himself. And by the way, guys, all my apparel, go to nflshop.com and you can get that stuff. I mean, it's some great deals, guys. I just don't get the Lamar Jackson thing. Now, he tweeted out yesterday that he requested a trade, and he spoke about how the Ravens has dissed him and they just don't see his worth. They offered him a 3-year, fully guaranteed $133 million contract, which is like $43 million a year. Guess what? Daniel Jones signed for $40 million a year. $40 million. Daniel Jones. Now, I'm sorry, Daniel, don't get me wrong. I'm sorry. And the New York Giants, I mean, probably going to get a lot of flack from New York Giant fans. But come on. Daniel Jones, $40 million. Okay. Where I'm sitting there going, okay, great. Maybe great for the Giants. And the trade deadline, they did it like 5 minutes before it had to be done. And the only reason why they were so happy because they took Saquon Barkley and they franchise tagged him. So they needed to get the quarterback done, and they needed to franchise tag Saquon Barkley. And I guess the Giants are like, oh, yes. And guess who they picked up? Darren Waller. Yeah, Darren Waller. Now, he's been hurt for the last 2 seasons. His availability is like zip. And plus, I was just listening to, I put it up on my TikTok. Darren Waller had an interview, and he admitted he tested over 100 times for drugs. I guess he was coming out of college. He got kicked out of the football team in college. That's what he was saying. This is right from his mouth. And he got suspended or something in that range. And it was all from drugs. And the thing is that, why would you pick that guy up? I just don't get it. There's so many tight ends in the draft this year. I mean, there's a lot, guys. Really, really good tight ends. And here's there's the Raiders. Congratulations, man, on the Raiders trading Darren Waller away, getting the head case and getting him away from the team was just the best thing the Raiders could do. And the Giants now have the headache, and Kadarius Tony used to be a Giant. He was a head case. He went to the Kansas City Chiefs, and guess what? They won a Super Bowl with him. 65-yard punt return at the end. The Chiefs are saying that Tony is going to be the number 1 wideout come 2023 season. So congratulations to Kadarius Tony, man. Congratulations, my friend. Congratulations, that's for sure. But, getting back to Darren Waller, he's just, he is what he is. If he is a, fit and he's really doing well, then Darren, congratulations, man. Go for it. And, all the luck to you. I never, want to put bad luck or wish anyone harm or anything like that when their career. I always am fully, behind that person. I hope he does well. I hope he doesn't, get out of the drugs and all that good stuff. He has a head on his shoulder. He thinks he's the number 1 tight end, which actually in the last 2 years, he has proven that he isn't the number 1 tight end at all. And since I have been gone, Derek Carr, a Saint, I predicted that. And, I'm telling you, Derek Carr, they're loading up. The Saints are loading up, guys. They are loading up. And, man, I'm excited. Now, Mr. Williams of the Detroit Lions, he was all upset that the Detroit Lions offered him a 3-year, $12 million deal. Thought it was a slap in the face, especially he scored 18 touchdowns for the Lions last year. And he was like, what? What are you doing? So he went to New Orleans. New Orleans signed him for a 1-year deal. And guess who comes onto the Lions? The Lions picked up Montgomery from the Bears at 3 years, $18 million. So I think they probably think that the Montgomery is a little bit better of a player than Williams, who proved himself last year. What a slap in the face that was. What a slap in the face that was by the Detroit Lions. Congratulations, Mr. Williams, getting that contract. And the Saints, just fantastic. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. There's so much to talk about, guys. I mean, Jimmy G comes out, and when, the Raiders have him and stuff, but still, I mean, Josh McDaniels, what are you doing? Dude, I'm sorry, people. Josh McDaniels, you're not a head coach. You're just not a head coach. To do that to Jimmy G, to say that kind of thing, well, we could take a quarterback. Come on, man. Really? You just signed a guy who is a proven winner, and you're dissing him already. No wonder your organization is a losing organization. No wonder. We have the NFL draft coming up. the big thing, Carolina trading down and taking the Bears' number 1 pick. Bears go up to 9. They got a bunch of draft picks from the Carolina Panthers. And man, Carolina's looking at C.J. Stroud. They're looking at him. But hey, go to my show. Look at my shorts under Will Levis, okay? He looks great. The guy is huge. He is big. And man, he looked good. He threw a ball like 70 yards that was just, it was a rocket, man. And he looked really, really good. I think his pro debut for Kentucky, and man, he looked really good. I think a lot of teams are looking at him with open eyes. And now, getting back to Lamar, and we're talking about the draft coming up, right? And the Indianapolis Colts are picking number 4, right? So they're thinking, I believe they're even talking about, uh, Mr. Anthony Richardson from Florida. I mean, the guy just went off at the combine, 4.4. His leaping ability, it's just looking great. And they were thinking, hey, maybe down the road he'll be a tight end. I don't know. He's more of like a Lamar, but he hasn't had that much playing time, guys. Just hasn't had that much playing time as a college quarterback. That right there is very, very worrisome, And his throwing percentage is 50% in college, 50%. Now, Josh Allen came out of Wyoming. His percentages were way down. He was a wild man. And then look at him now. Josh is doing well. Yeah. So you never know. You never know, people, how teams can just take a player and mold them. Buffalo molded Josh Allen to be a superstar. I think he's like number 3 in the league when it comes to quarterbacks. I rank number 1 Patrick Mahomes, number 2 Burrows, number 3 Josh Allen, number 4 Jalen Hurts, and number 5 I would give it to either Lamar Jackson or Justin Herbert. Either or. I think Lamar's great, guys. I really do. He's 75% win. He has won the MVP. You have Deshaun Watson, who has multiple accusations against him with sexual deviance, all that crap. And, you have him signing a huge contract, fully guaranteed of $230 million. Do I think that any player is worth a fully guaranteed contract? Not really. I think that was the worst contract in the history of the NFL, for number 1. For number 2, I think the second worst contract in the NFL, in the history of the NFL, is Kyler Murray. And that's another. So you have Deshaun Watson, the worst. Second worst was Kyler Murray. And third, they're going to find out that the New York Football Giants, guess what, guys? You're going to have the third worst contract in the NFL, guaranteed, because Daniel Jones isn't all that. He ain't a $40 million guy. I mean, Jimmy G signed for 3 years. I think it's like around 69 million to 75 million. So that's virtually 25 million a year for Jimmy G. And he got Daniel Jones signing for $40 million? You got to be kidding me. I mean, really? Terrible contract on that end. You have to understand the draft and what's going on with the draft. Now, this is me with the draft. Now, the Colts are number 4, right? And of course, they're going to take a quarterback. I think Will Levis is going to go to the Colts. That's just my opinion. I think he should go to the Colts. I just don't see anything else happening with Lamar Jackson. But now the Indianapolis owners and GM were asked about Lamar Jackson, and they didn't rule it out. I have a strange feeling that Lamar Jackson is in talks with the Indianapolis Colts. That's what I really think it's going on. I think that's happening. I really do think that's happening. And that is just going to be some team if they pick him. Now, this is my thing. When you're picking kids from college, right? They're unproven for number one. They haven't played an NFL game for number two, right? So that's the unproven part about the NFL. You just haven't. You can't really know for sure if that quarterback or whatever quarterback, tight end, whomever is going to make it in the NFL. I mean, the NFL is a lot different than college. You have Bryce Young from Alabama that they just rolled on everyone. I mean, come on, they have all that talent. He's like, he's under 6 foot. There's only 2 players that are like Bryce Young with that height. One was Johnny Manziel, and the other is Kyler Murray. How did they turn out, guys? Really, how did they turn out? Think about it, and I'm not a Bryce Young believer. I don't think quarterback with that height, and it's just not the height. He's pushing 190. I guess he came into the combine or they weighed him out. He was 200 pounds. Must have ate a bunch of hamburgers and stuff like that. But guy averages like 180 something, and that's just way too small for the NFL. I mean, the thing of it is, he's going to get hit by guys that are like 250, 300 pounds. I mean, half his weight, and will he take the pounding? He is not a running quarterback, mind you. He just isn't. He's going to have to get out of the pocket because he's so small. You guys got like guys that are 6'8", who are, defensive ends. You have tackles in the NFL, tackles that are 6'6", 6'8". Guys, the guy's like under 6 foot. He has to see over that. This is in college. This is the NFL. Every single player on that line is 6+. Every single player on the defensive line is 6+. He's going to have to find a team, Bryce Young, that will get him out of the pocket so he actually can see downfield. I don't see it. I don't see him. I don't see him doing well in the NFL. That's just me. Carolina Panthers, they're thinking C.J. Stroud. I think Will Levis is a better player. That's what I would do. If my humble opinion, I would take that. Number one is, I guess Carolina is going to pick C.J. Stroud. The number 2 pick is the Houston Texans. Well, they're all about Bryce Young. Wow. Yeah, I just don't see it. I don't see it, guys. I think the Cardinals and the Colts are going to trade down. I think the Colts really want Anthony Richardson. I really do. I think they really want Anthony Richardson. I think they see him as a perennial superstar, and I really think so. And I think that Will Anderson, the edge rusher from the Alabama, I think he's going to be in the top 4. That's for sure. And I think the Cardinals, they need an edge rusher. Guess who just retired? C.J. Watt. Mr. Watt retired. So they're going to need an edge rusher, and they're going to need to shore up that defense. I think Will Anderson would be a perfect fit for the Cardinals. I don't know if there's going to be a trade. I think there might be a trade. That's just my opinion. We have the number 5 pick, and the number 5 pick is for the Seattle Seahawks. Of course, they signed Geno Smith to a $105 million contract. 3 years, $105 million contract. I don't know if they'll pick a quarterback. I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to pick a defensive tackle. There's Jalen Carter from Georgia. That's just an amazing talent. They really needed to shore up the defense. They really do. They traded Penny, right? They do have that great running back, Walker. He's going to eat up, man. He's going to eat up this year. He's going to eat up. But he was hurt, remember? It's weird that all the Seattle running backs get hurt. Wonder why. It's the turf. It's the turf, guys. The next one on the depth charts, it would be the Detroit Lions, right? And Detroit Lions, I think they need some corners. They really do. I mean, they have to score how many points? 40 points just to win the game, right? And that means that you need to shore up the defense of the Detroit Lions. Christian Gonzalez of Oregon, I think he's a great pickup. Cornerback, he's a junior coming out of the draft. I think coming out of college into the draft, Christian Gonzalez, he looks great, man. He's great kid, great talent. Yeah, and then you have Las Vegas Raiders. You know, they're talking Will Levis. I just don't see it. I think they should just shore up their defense. I really, really do think they should shore up some defense. You know, maybe even bring in another edge rusher to complement the team. You have Chandler Jones on the other side of the stork, and I just don't, Crosby, the stork, he has those big arms like that, right? And I think it would be smart for them to make Tyree Wilson, I think, from Texas Tech. He's just this amazing edge rusher. I just don't see, I don't think that the Raiders should really pick up a quarterback. I really don't. And then you have the Atlanta Falcons. Maybe the Falcons. I mean, I think the Falcons should pick up a quarterback or maybe even an offensive line. Most like an offensive lineman like Paris Johnson Jr. From the Ohio State, big offensive tackle. Bates just signed a deal with the Atlanta Falcons. They had him online, and he said, "Man, that division's up for grabs, guys. That division's up for grabs." Baker Mayfield going to Tampa, right? Baker Mayfield, congratulations, brother. You 1-year deal with Tampa. Him and Trash will be going at each other for the job. I'm going to give that to Mr. Baker Mayfield. I hope he does very, very well in Tampa. I think he will. But still, that division is up for grabs. I think that division really isn't up for grabs. I really don't. I think that the New Orleans Saints are just flying high. But you don't know. Carolina, they could pick up a great, they have the quarterback, C.J. Stroud. They have all these weapons that they've been gathering. You got to watch out for Carolina. And Carolina's defense is young and just good, very, very good. So you have to watch all that, guys. You just have to watch all that, and that's how you form a team. That division is going to be interesting. That's good division. You have the NFC East, right? They used to be the laughing stock of the NFC. They used to be, right? The Giants, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Commanders. Wow. All 4 teams, they're all losing. Now, that's the division of the Carolina Panthers, right? The Carolina Panthers, the New Orleans Saints, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Tampa Bay Bucks, right? Look what happened last year. The Tampa Bay Bucks made it in. They looked terrible, and they looked terrible even playing Dallas Cowboys, just rolled on them, right? Now, this year is going to be different because you have the New Orleans Saints with Derek Carr. They are loading up, guys, and it is just amazing how they're loading it up. And I think the New Orleans Saints, and then you have the Atlanta Falcons, like I said, like I was talking to you, they're loading up. So, man, just it's going to be an exciting year. I mean, because all these teams are, all these players, it's the salary cap issue. And then some, like, example, Cincinnati got rid of Bates. Why? Because they need to sign Burrows. Same thing with the Los Angeles Chargers. Eckler is now on the trading blocks, right? Totals were just amazing. And he's a running back. He's a scat back. I mean, the guy's so good. And the Los Angeles Chargers are just, let him see what he can get. And I just don't get it. But I do get it. It's called salary cap. They need to sign Jalen Hurts. They need to sign him. They need to sign Justin Herbert. They need to sign Joe Burrow. Get what I mean? So all these teams are feeling the crunch. They're feeling the crunch, guys, of this, of the salary cap. They have to, it's Cleveland Browns are the worst team. One of the worst. They will be the worst team next year because their top 4 players next year in 2024 will take up 57% of their salary. 57%. Guys, that means the next 49 players of the Cleveland Browns will only have 43% of their salary. 49 players, 43%. Wow. That is the reason why no team wants to sign Lamar Jackson to a fully guaranteed contract, because they don't want to be like the Cleveland Browns are going to be next year. It's just a proven fact, Sorry, it's just a proven fact. I think Lamar should get maybe a 4-year deal, guaranteed. You just have to weigh. I mean, it's just teams just don't want to step up. I think they'll do well with Lamar Jackson. I think maybe they can give him a fully guaranteed contract, like, say, the Indianapolis Colts. Give him a fully guaranteed contract, but on contingency, on base where if he doesn't get hurt, and if he does get hurt, the guaranteed monies go down. All that stuff. I think they really should do that. I think if they just gear the contract to something like that for Lamar Jackson, I think then the Indianapolis Colts will definitely go for it. But man, the Baltimore Ravens offered him a 3-year, $133 million fully guaranteed contract. What the Baltimore Ravens offered Lamar Jackson was a $44.33 million contract per year for 3 years. You have Jones making 40. So Jones making 40 and then Lamar making 44. That's still, it's but you have, Kyler Murray making almost 50. You have Rodgers making 50. Burrows is going to be probably making over 50. Man, and Jalen Hurts probably the same. I think Lamar Jackson deserves those contracts. I really do. But fully guaranteed, man, I love you, Lamar. Love you, brother. But, if I'm an owner, I'm going to give you a guarantee, and it's going to be great guarantees. But the only way I could give you to that hump, to that guaranteed money, is availability. Last 2 years, you've been hurt, unfortunately, right? So what I really think you should do, and a contract should be had, give Lamar the fully guaranteed contract on stipulations. Stipulations that how you play, your availability, and and then it keeps going higher and higher. Your availability goes higher. And get closer to that guaranteed contract. That's what a team needs to do, smart wise. And I think if they do that for Lamar, and I think a team will sign him. Will sign him. Definitely sign him. It's been great, guys. It's been great just a reminder, we always have a drink of the week from Mixed Cocktail Hour. They are literally the best. Mixed Cocktail Hour. Love you, Dean Black. Tammy, you are amazing. Scott Cushman. Oh, yeah. We're going to sign off with the cocktail of the week, guys. Thank you so much for listening to my show. Cocktail of the week.
Three.
Welcome.
Yeah, where's Tammy?
Let's get on with
Let's
the
do
show.
it. Let's go.